turn to a 3 News exclusive about Cleveland Public Power, the troubled city-owned utility. A 3 News investigation has found that City Hall has been keeping the power company's 70,000 customers in the dark about a briefing document that outlines its management and financial failings. It says the survival of the 114-year-old utility could depend on multiple rate increases. Mark Naymik has the briefing document and breaks down its implications for customers, the community, and elected officials.
The power company, once known as MuniLight, saved Clevelanders millions of dollars by offering them cheaper electric rates. But in recent years, it's failed them, charging rates on average that are 13% higher than those of its competitor, the illuminating company, owned by the corporation previously known as First Energy. In 2018, Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson's administration agreed to pay a consultant more than $1 million to analyze the city utilities operations and recommend changes to raise money for upgrades. The city has refused for months to share the findings, claiming the consultant's work is not complete and therefore not a public record. 3 News has obtained a copy of a briefing document given to Jackson administration officials about the consultant's findings. The briefing says the power company, which no longer produces its own electricity, is in dire condition. The briefing cites poor management and internal dysfunction, long-term contracts that have locked it into paying above-market prices for power, poor maintenance, and maxed-out borrowing. The consultant recommends restructuring rates. One option includes raising some rates 3 times over 5 years, beginning in 2020, adding up to a double-digit increase. The findings land squarely on Jackson's administration, in charge of the city and utility for nearly 15 years. The briefing document also says, quote, poorly vetted decision-making results in costly investments, and Cleveland Public Power's situation is not sustainable. Cleveland City Council is supposed to be the watchdog of the administration and the utility on behalf of residents and major businesses that rely on the power system, and it must sign off on any rate increases. But City Council has not demanded a copy of the consultant's work or held any recent hearings on the utility's dysfunction. President Kevin Kelly, who's considering a bid for mayor next year, says Cleveland Public Power's problems need to be addressed. But now he's looking outward, announcing this week plans to investigate critics of this city utility for possible ties to First Energy.
The city said this afternoon that the work of the consultant is not complete and that the briefing document was done just to generate feedback from utility officials. And some of the opinions in the document are not yet vetted. As for the rate increases, the city said they're not committing to anything just yet because the rate study is not complete. Reporting from Cleveland, Mark Naymik, 3 News.